Bulginaka, do you know that cybercrime is becoming a growing problem in Fiji?
Cybercrime is defined as a crime in which a computer is the object of the crime, such as hacking and spamming.
Cybercrime is also cyberbullying and using fake profiles to cause panic and spreading false news.
If you're involved in this or know anyone who's committing these crimes, report them immediately.
I'm Polly.
And I'm Peter.
We host the Traffic Jam Show on City FM.
From 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. every weekday.
Do the right thing.
In this bulletin, TC Yasa draws closer to Fiji. Public transport suspended. Police activate emergency operations. And Abinaka, Fiji. Acting Fiji Meteorological Director Terry Atalifo says as Tropical Cyclone Yasa continues to track towards the Fiji group, a tropical cyclone warning remains in force for the Yasawa group, northern half of Viti Levu, Yandua, Ngaloa, Kia, Mali, Matuku, Moala, Tatoya and the Lomai Viti group. As the cyclone continues to track towards Fiji, we now join Felipe Naikaso live in Nandi for the latest. Felipe, how is the system developing?
Ravnaka, Ed, yes, so according to the Nandi Weather Office, Tropical Cyclone Yasa is expected to still take the forecasted track they've been saying for the past few days, and this is between Vonulevu and Viti Levu. So within the next few hours, they're going to be advising us if the track would change. However, for now, it still remains the same. So weather here in Nandi hasn't also picked up. It's been gloomy from this morning. However, rain hasn't also picked up. It's just been drizzling. So for the Western Division, the Nandi Weather Office is also saying that we should start feeling the adverse weather conditions from later today. They've also been getting reports from Yasawa around 3 a.m. this morning that they've been experiencing gale force winds, and rain has really picked up in those areas. So for us, what we can expect going into today, probably later in the afternoon, is a drastic change in weather as it will also deteriorate, and the weather will not be in our favor from today onwards. So the Nandi Weather Office will continue to keep us updated with Tropical Cyclone Yasa continuing to move closer to the Fiji group.
Naka, Felipe, all public transport has been halted as of last night. Fiji Bus Operators General Secretary Rohit Lachan says bus services need to be scaled back for the safety of drivers and the travelling public as people conclude final preparations for the impending cyclone. Bus operators are urged to take their directions from authorities and exercise wisdom, as all public transport has been ordered to be suspended for the time being. Meanwhile, Fiji Taxi Association General Secretary Ashwin Lal is also urging taxi operators and drivers to use good judgment.
In emergency cases, we will liaise with the police officers, and if there will be, like we have to cross the flood or anything, then we'll also liaise with the National Fire Authority.
After losing everything to Category 5 TC Winston almost 4 years ago, families in Navave Mbua are not taking the weather forecasts lightly this time around. They've begun preparations for what could be a similar to or worse than Tropical Cyclone Winston situation. Eleanor Turangaivu was in Navave and filed this report.
With lessons learned from TC Winston in 2016, this family in Navave Mbua is not overlooking the weather reports.
We felt how strong TC Winston was, and with this one coming, we are fully prepared. We are not taking it lightly.
The family runs a fish diving business out of their property. When FBC News visited them yesterday, their home was already secured with ropes, and they were doing the same with other structures in their compound.
We will be bringing all our fiberglass boats inland into our compound and will bind them.
Another family badly affected by TC Winston and living along the Mbua coastline has already moved out of their home.
We were planning to pack all the stuff we can take and keep and move them up to Navave Village Hall before Thursday. We will be sheltering there until the cyclone passes.
Out at sea, a storm is brewing. Black clouds gather across the sky in the distance. hiding the sun as it disappears over the vast open waters between Viti level and Vanua level. The path TC Yasa is expected to take when it hits the Fiji group. Eleanor Torangaville, FBC News.
The Fiji Police Force had its final briefing yesterday to map out their tropical cyclone Yasa emergency operations. Chief Operations Officer ACP Abdul Khan says hundreds of officers have been deployed already with necessary resources for cyclone response. Sanyani Mboila reports, however, that police are reminding Fijians that safety is everyone's responsibility.
Reassess, prepare and protect. That's the message to all police officers working through the Category 5 cyclone.
We've got manpower and vehicles that are on standby, not only here, in all other divisions, that they are prepared, and they are working very closely with the EOCs that have been activated and the NDMO office that has been activated. And we have got police officers that are connected with that in our situation room at the Police Command Coordination Center that is activated as well.
Additional resources include body cameras and diving gear should there be a need for water rescue. With COVID-19 curfew restrictions still in place, the Chief Operations Officer says checkpoints will be erected when needed.
Curfew will continue. There is a directive from the government that will be in place, but we will be monitoring the weather situation closely in terms of the checkpoints that will be out there, as we need to also see the safety of our officers as well that will be out there at the checkpoints.
ACP Khan has also warned criminal elements who may want to take advantage of the bad weather over the next 2 days.
We know there would be offenders that will be out there taking opportunity in terms of the weather that is out there. But we have plans in place and deployments that will be out on the ground and will be surging operations from tonight, as you'll be able to see more number of officers that will be out there covering for safety and security of people out there.
As tropical cyclone Yasa moves closer to Fiji, police is urging members of the public to make the work easier for them by staying home and adhering to weather precautionary measures. Sanyani Mboila, FBC News.
Fijians are anticipating the worst, and Suva is no different. Koroi Tandulala is in central Suva. Koroi, what are we waking up to this morning?
Yandra Edwin, we are waking up to more rain here in Suva City, and also the city of Suva is empty. And on a normal day at this hour, there would be bustling traffic here in Suva City where people are trying to make their way to work. However, today this is not the case. This as the National Disaster Management Office, as well as other relevant authorities, had advised businesses to close down to ensure that people take extra precautionary measures. Now, it's been rainy from whole of last night until now, and this rain is expected to continue in the next 24 to 48 hours as tropical cyclone Yasa continues to drag closer to the Fiji group. Now, this is the likeliest scene to be for the rest of the other country, for other towns, and people are advised to take precautionary measures, and also if they haven't done the preparation, to keep in mind that the public transportation will not be available today as well. So if for those who are living in low-lying or flood-prone areas, if they haven't made their way to nearest evacuation centers, they need to move now, act now, as more rain is expected in the next 12 to 24 hours. And Edwin will have more details and update on the impending cyclone as it progresses, and we continue to monitor the track as it moves closer to Fiji.
Minaka Koroi. People in the Mamanuda group are starting to experience heavy rain and strong winds this morning. Mana Island Resort Food and Beverage Manager Aquila Koroi Mata says the group has been experiencing heavy downpour and strong currents last night. Koroi Mata adds villagers and about 18 workers have ensured their homes and quarters are secure and are expected to move to an evacuation center within the resort.
We have been experiencing heavy rain since last night. Now the wind is slowly picking up. We have about 19 people, including workers here on the island. We will use some of the hotel's facilities as an evacuation center. We have nailed shutters and ensure rooftops are secure to withstand the cyclone.
Up ahead, last-minute shopping for TC Yasa. And traders warned against price gouging.
Oir na ngone no de nunu ena be singa ni mataka.
Mersi sunga da kena loma dina kena mikron.
Sakena ngau na mitar lo bina no na baksa ngai ka pala lo mataki na ngone. Dalo bina oya o meliki.
bulre o eu Samuel Sabuli. Nama kikirau ena be mataka. Moniti kina pakarumbuka.
Ni boy tiri kalimana miniti me ono kina tiri na kaloko. And Radio Fiji One nandobo ibiti.
Pindah-pindah na mataka dan ramai na singabo.
Welcome back. Fijians are now re-looking at their Christmas plans as the impending cyclone continues to move closer to the Fiji group. The current weather situation has led to the cancellation of all inter-island shipping services, foiling people's travel plans as well. Koroi Tandulala reports.
The approaching tropical cyclone has impeded major plans of a family from Kadavu.
But then as we were preparing for our body to be taken back to the village, it again got spoiled because of these massive hurricanes that are approaching us. So the plan is still on hold.
Makireta Rambuli of Savu Savu, who came to Suva for medical treatment, is now stuck as her boat trip scheduled for this evening has been cancelled.
If there's a hurricane, there's no way of going back. We'll just wait until it finishes, and then whatever the boats, the companies, the shipping companies come over with, we've got our tickets booked and everything. They just have to confirm our going back.
A father and daughter duo are also forced to cancel their Christmas tradition of spending their festivity with their family in Vanuatu due to the current TC threats.
We've cancelled our plans to travel to Vanuatu for Christmas with a cyclone looming over the Fiji group. The safety of my family is my priority.
I decided to spend my Christmas in Savu, but due to the unfavorable weather and the tropical cyclone Yasa, I decided to step back to Suva.
Many Fijians are remaining hopeful that they can make last-minute travel plans once TC Yasa passes over the Fiji group. Koroi Tandulala, FBC News.
Traders are being warned not to indulge in unethical practices and take advantage of consumers, as many are struggling to make ends meet. The Fijian Competition and Consumer Commission and the Consumer Council of Fiji have caught traders in the past duping consumers by increasing prices of essential items during natural disasters. Dipesh Kumar reports.
The FCCC officials have been keeping a close watch on all traders.
The FCCC in fact is on the ground. We've dispatched officers today. They've been out on the field making sure that businesses do not engage in practices. We've started receiving reports and complaints. There was one instance where a company, there's an allegation that a company in Nakasi has increased the price of a generator from 699 to about 1,200. So almost doubling, so an instance of price gouging.
The consumer watchdog is also warning traders to not take advantage of the current situation.
We would like to once again urge the traders, please do not engage in practices such as price gouging or conditional selling. Please do not put limitations. Let's work hand in hand to support each other during these trying times, during these difficult times, because we know already we have been affected by COVID-19 and now we might face this natural disaster which is coming, heading towards us.
Consumers who come across instances of price gouging have been urged to contact the relevant authorities on their toll-free numbers. Dipesh Kumar, FBC News.
Hundreds of families have chosen to forego Christmas in order to buy essential items ahead of TC Yasa. The days leading up to Christmas are traditionally a busy shopping time, but this year people are stocking up on food, batteries and other necessities. Jeshulal reports.
Supermarkets were full today, but these shoppers aren't filling their trolleys with Christmas goodies. Instead, it's basic food items to last through TC Yasa.
I am out here shopping with my family. This was supposed to be a Christmas shopping, but we had to change our Christmas shopping plans to stock up on basic food items for our preparation for TC Yasa.
Another consumer, Anesh, says he is preparing for the worst and his biggest concern is electricity and water supply disruptions.
I am just stocking up some tin supplies and bottled water to prepare for the cyclone, and I am preparing myself for electricity outage and water cuts.
For many Fijians, TC Yasa means they have to place all their holiday plans on hold.
The plan was to go out to the islands, but since all movement has been cancelled, I will be doing separate shopping and preparing for the cyclone.
With the weather expected to get worse from tomorrow, today was possibly the last chance for many to buy the necessities to last up to 3 days. Jeshu Lal, FBC News.
A tropical cyclone warning remains in force for Yasawa Group, northern and eastern half of Viti Levu, Yandua, Galoa, Kia, Mali, Vanua Levu, Tavyuni and nearby smaller islands Matuku, Moala, Totoya and the Lomai Viti Group. And that is your FBC Morning News. FBC's coverage of TC Yasa continues on our 6 radio stations with the latest in-depth news every hour. You can also log on to our FBC News website and social media accounts. Our TV news coverage of TC Yasa will return at 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. for our major bulletin. Until then, stay safe. Modemanda.
हमारे खूबसूरत देश फिजी में चाइल्ड अब्यूज की घटनाएं आए दिन बढ़ रही हैं।
क्यों बच्चों का मासूम बचपन अब्यूज का शिकार हो जाता है?
अपने बच्चों की सुरक्षा का खास ख्याल रखें।
उनसे बातचीत करें, उनके दोस्तों के बारे में जानें।
आज के बच्चे देश का भविष्य है। मैं दीप्ति
और मैं मोनिश,
आपके हमसफर। शामिल हो जाए हमारे साथ मंडे टू फ्राइडे
5:45 AM से 10 AM तक
रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन पर।